Well, let's talk about gear quickly, because I know you guys are interested in that. You know, I'm not going to hide from you that I have to take stuff. And for as long as I remember in this prep, I actually started my prep at a higher testosterone than I am now. I remember the beginning of preparations was something like 750 testosterone a week. I was using some nandrolone, and I actually had psychological issues with that. It was making me feel very depressed. I think I was using 400, and I felt almost suicidal. I was like, shit, this is awful, and I felt really negative. So that compound, out the window. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone. I think it's diabolical and it makes you feel awful. So that was a change I made. I switched over to some Masteron in place of that, because I know that's something I already can cope with. And then all that's happened as the prep has gone on is you've just introduced certain factors like clenbuterol. Right now I'm taking 60 mcg of clenbuterol a day. Started at 20, built up to 60 over the periods of the weeks. T3 at 25 micrograms and T4 at 150 micrograms. So this is just, again, just to help with keeping, you know, metabolically in check and thyroid in a good place. Obviously I take growth hormone as well, and I normally take 2 units AM and PM, and as the preps progressed I increased that to 2 units 3 times a day, and right now I'm at 2 units 4 times a day, so it's 8 units a day. Having things like that present is when you need to be aware of having perhaps thyroid medication present, just to prevent some issues that can occur with that. Insulin has not been really used. I don't really rate it. I always have this conversation with like Yannicka about it, and we agree that the people that use insulin, their muscles just don't look the same. They're full, they're volumized, but it's just the lack of detail and hardness that isn't there. And I don't want to come into a show just big. I'd rather be in crazy condition, even if it costs me a little bit of size. Because bodybuilding for me is about being in condition. So I just find there's a lot of people out there saying, no, you're talking shit, insulin, you can get really shredded. Dude, I know I am the professional bodybuilder. I've trained with many of them. I am on the Olympia stage. I know when I've used insulin, when I haven't, and what the difference in the look is, and I know all the coaches. And I know all the athletes. And I've got their numbers on my fucking phone. I can literally have a conversation with anyone right now and say, what do you think of this or that? And I've had these conversations, and that's why I have this opinion on insulin. I've seen friends of mine compete with insulin and without, and I always think they look better without in regards to condition. And that's just my opinion. So that hasn't been used much at all. That's something that maybe sporadically might use a little bit just on a day where I'm trying to fill up because I'm extremely flat. But I don't like to make it a regular thing, because I really do think it blunts my ability to get shredded. Obviously, I work with Biolabs, which is a great company for peptides. I use not even peptides, just peptides. I use the Yohimbe and the L-carnitine. They've been introduced in the past few weeks. 200 mcg of carnitine in the AM before cardio, and 5 milligrams of Yohimbe. So through the prep, you know, the amount of things that I use at the beginning are very small, and then as you get closer, you start to introduce them, and you just like kind of stagger more things in. That way you just don't run out of options. You know, if you hit a wall, if you get a little bit stuck, condition starts to stick. Instead of having to like pull my calories down even more, which is not healthy for a body in my opinion, I'd rather introduce a little something that could assist with fat loss. Again, just my approach. These videos are just my opinion, my experience. So that really helps with that when you hit a little bit of a wall. Gear-wise in a minute, parabolin, which is Tren Hex, 50 milligrams per day. So that's 350 milligrams per week. Probably a little bit high. You could go lower than that. I wouldn't even recommend going that high. Testosterone is about 50 milligrams a day, so roughly the same. Masteron is 100 milligrams and Primo is 100 milligrams a day, so 700, 700. And that's my injectable gear. That's what I take on that. Pre-training, might take a methyl MST, which is I actually don't know the fucking compound that's in that, but it's something I've used most preps. So anyone out there that knows exactly what that compound is, I believe it's a compound that has some people say it's close to Superdrol, and then other people say it has a halotestin Winnie mix, but I don't know. Sounds silly, innit? I'm the professional, I'm telling you I'm taking something I don't know what it is, but again, I'm just speaking the truth. And would I suggest doing that? No, I wouldn't. I've got a show in a few weeks that if you win 300k. Wait up, guys. Do you know what I mean? If this is like some local regional show, would I be doing some of the things I do? Probably not, because there's no money to win. You know, shows now. The Olympia's 400k, the Arnold's 300k, the fucking UK Arnold's 130k. Like, if you were to someone to be able to win those shows, look how much money you can make in a year just from the shows. So there's obviously going to be risks taken by everybody.